Martinez looking just about. Really good. Modrić this time. It's going to hold up for him, is it? Really good chance. Stunning save.
Let me ask you something. What happens when a nation that has never won a World Cup game steps onto the same pitch as a country that reached the final just 8 years ago? What happens when a tiny Central American squad refuses to be intimidated, refuses to lie down, refuses to be the easy 3 points that everyone predicted they would be? You get exactly what happened in Toronto on June 23rd, 2026. You get Panama versus Croatia. You get chaos, drama, and a night that will be remembered very differently depending on which side of the scoreboard you were standing on. Welcome back! This is the full match breakdown. Panama 0, Croatia 1. Let's get into it. Before a single ball was kicked at Toronto Stadium, the storyline was already written on the wall. Both of these teams came into matchday 2 of Group L on the back of defeat. Croatia had been beaten by England. Panama had fallen to Ghana. That meant one thing, and one thing only. Lose this game, and you are going home. This was not just a must-win. This was a must-survive. There was no safety net, no backup plan. You either get 3 points tonight, or you start packing your bags. And then on top of all of that, all the pressure, all the stakes, all the elimination anxiety, you have Luka Modrić stepping onto that field for his 200th international cap. 200. Let that number sink in for a second. Ronaldo has 230, Messi has 230, Messi has 241, Ronaldo has 230, Messi has 241, Messi has 241, Messi has 241, Mildsmaintal. Modric tonight joins that conversation at 200, becoming only the 4th player in men's football history to ever reach that milestone. The man made his international debut in 2006. He has been wearing that Croatia jersey for nearly 2 decades. And here he is, still running games at a World Cup, still bossing midfields, still proving people wrong. The occasion alone was worth the price of admission. Now, here is where it gets interesting, and here is where Panama deserve every single bit of credit. Croatia were supposed to come out and dominate this match. They are the 2018 World Cup finalists. They have Modric. They have Gavrdio. They have experience dripping from every corner of their squad. And yet, for the entire first 45 minutes, Panama were the better team. Let that land. The underdogs, the team written off before the tournament even began, were outplaying a Croatian side that looked disorganized, disconnected, and frankly, a little scared. Panama's best moment came in the 23rd minute, a delivery whipped into the box. José Luis Rodríguez rising above the Croatian defense and powering a header straight at goal. Dominik Livaković, Croatia's goalkeeper, had to throw himself across his line and tip the ball onto the crossbar. The stadium gasped. Panama were inches away from writing one of the biggest upsets of the tournament. And to make it even more dramatic, the goal wouldn't have counted anyway because of an earlier foul in the build-up. But the message was sent. Panama were not here to be bullied. Croatia struggled to find any clarity going forward. Their passing was loose, their movement was predictable. Panama's defensive structure, sitting in a compact 3-4-3, was suffocating every Croatian attack before it even had a chance to breathe. And then right at the end of the first half, Baturina tried his luck from 25 yards out, a stinging effort, and Panama goalkeeper Orlando Mosquera pushed it wide with a sharp save. Halftime, 0-0. Panama the better side, Croatia in serious trouble. The XG at the break told you everything. Panama had created more threat with less possession. This was not the script Croatia had written. When Zlatko Dalić walked into that dressing room at halftime, he knew something had to change drastically. He needed goals. He needed movement. He needed pace and aggression and a completely different energy, so he made a double substitution. Gavrdio, one of the best defenders in the world, was pulled off. Petar Musa was brought off too. Coming on, Ante Budimir and Andre Kramaric, 2 substitutes. Two men who would either save Croatia's World Cup or watch it crumble in the second half. Ujemond's second half began with Croatia looking transformed, more direct, more urgent. The composure that had been missing in the first half was beginning to show itself. Panama were still fighting, still organized, but you could feel the momentum shifting with every passing minute. And then it happened. 54th minute. Mario Pašalić flicked the ball perfectly into space on the right side, finding Josip Stanišić charging forward. Stanišić reached the byline. He didn't hesitate. He drove a low, precise cross across the face of goal, and there was Ante Budimir, 9 minutes on the pitch. Substitute, sliding in at the back post and tapping it home. Croatia 1, Panama 0. The stadium erupted. Players ran to Budimir. 9 minutes. 9 minutes as a substitute, and he scores the goal that could keep Croatia's entire World Cup alive. That is what tournament football does to you. That is what pressure produces. One moment, one cross, one finish, and everything changes. 3 minutes later, Croatia almost doubled it. Pašalić found himself one-on-one with Mosquera, a golden chance to kill the game. The Panama goalkeeper stood tall and made the save. The rebound came back, and Pašalić blazed it over the bar. Croatia left a chance behind, and that would matter in the final minutes. Because Panama never stopped, they pushed, they pressed, they threw bodies forward, searching for the equalizer that would have sent Group L into absolute mayhem. But every time they got close, Dominik Livaković was there, save after save. Positioning that made Croatia's defensive structure look almost impenetrable. Every Panama attack that came close was met with a wall wearing the Croatian number 1 jersey. The final whistle came with Croatia holding on, exhausted, relieved, and quietly grateful that Panama hadn't found a way through. Because on another night, with a little more cutting edge, a little more luck, Panama could have walked away with at least a point. Croatia had possession, but lacked creativity in the first half. Panama's XG in the opening 45 was higher than Croatia's, meaning they created the better chances, despite having less of the ball. The only goal came from a substitute 9 minutes into his appearance. Livakovic made multiple crucial saves. Mosquera, Panama's goalkeeper, was arguably the best player on the pitch for large stretches of this match. And Modric, 200 caps, still controlling midfield tempo, still reading the game better than men half his age, walked off to a standing ovation when he was replaced late in the second half. For Croatia, they are alive, 3 points. They face Ghana in their final group game, and a win could be enough to go through. But they know they cannot play like they did in the first half again. Panama exposed gaps that stronger teams will exploit without mercy. For Panama, it is over. Elimination confirmed with 1 game remaining. 2 losses, 0 points. But here is what I need you to understand. Panama were not embarrassed in this tournament. They went toe-to-toe with Ghana. They took the fight to Croatia for 45 minutes and nearly opened the scoring. They played with passion, structure, and a defensive discipline that made life very difficult for a far more experienced European side. Panama held their heads high in defeat, and that is something that cannot be taken away from them. Croatia escaped. There is no other way to say it. They came into this game on the edge of elimination, played below their level for most of the match, and were rescued by a substitute who had been on the pitch for 9 minutes. In tournament football, that is not a weakness. That is depth. That is squad quality. That is the difference between teams that win World Cups and teams that come close. Panama gave everything they had. They just didn't have enough to break down a Croatian goalkeeper who was absolutely determined to deny them. 1 goal, 1 sub, 1 night in Toronto. Croatia lives on. Panama goes home. The World Cup rolls on. That is all from me today. If you found this breakdown valuable, smash that like button, drop a comment telling me which team you thought played better football tonight, and subscribe so you never miss a match breakdown. I will see you in the next one.